Everyone, hope everything's going well. It's great to be doing videos again. I finally have time to do some videos. Been working 60 to 70-hour weeks. Things are finally calming down. I can now do what I like doing, calling out the hanky panky, talking about cards and all of that. I was on Professor Sports Cards live stream the other day. If you haven't seen this live regarding Vegas Dave, take a look at it. It was fun just getting back into action and doing all this stuff. Found this various places. First on IG, you could take a look on this article, casino.org by Corey L. And let's just take a look at some of the headlines here or the article. In July 2025, District Judge Timothy Williams ordered Vegas Dave to pay $30.2 million and prohibit him from disrupting rentals or restricting property access. However, court filings say he continued to violate these directives and never paid the judgment. Damn. He had to pay over $30 million. And what happened in this case? Vacation rental agency Cabo Platinum accused him of sabotaging bookings for several properties, alleging he blocked guest access and interfered with confirmed reservations. Interesting. He was ordered to surrender some of his luxury items, including 3 Mexican properties, $375K in crypto, fancy watches, bags. He's given 2 weeks, but he didn't. And the court also found out that he wasn't a credible witness. His testimony was inconsistent, contradicted by documentary evidence and prior sworn statements, was evasive and argumentative. All right, Vegas Day wasn't able to do what he's able to do in court. Newberry also rewarded Cabo Platinum nearly $300K in attorney's fees and $17,000 in costs. This is quite crazy. Okay, this is the same guy on his website, right? Let's go to Vegas Dave. Vegas Dave Goat. Right? This guy calls himself the GOAT, and that's a red flag, right? And a lot of people like Vegas Dave, right? You see VVG always like pushing this guy in the past. This is the GOAT. To be like the GOAT, bet with the GOAT. Here's the thing. This hobby, and you could say a lot of our society, the ones that get promoted, tend to be low trust individuals. That's why I'm very skeptical of a lot of these individuals that you see that are promoted. How many individuals that are promoted that are high trust? Not so many. I'm sure there are some. Those are the people that you should look up to. High trust individuals, not low trust individuals like this guy, right? There's always something that seemed off about him. And what was kind of crazy is I never heard of, or maybe I saw this story, but it didn't pop in my brain. Like it didn't show up because I don't remember talking a whole lot about this if I ever did, or seeing this on other people's content. Las Vegas sports betting personality indicted for misuse of social security numbers and concealing taxable winnings. This is the GOAT. Okay? 2017. The indictment charged Vegas Day with 9 counts of misuse of social security numbers and 10 counts of causing false currency transactions reports to be filed based on false social security numbers. What? The GOAT? The GOAT? Why do you need to call yourself the GOAT? Now, he took a deal, and as a result, he had to pay $551,000. It's just that, when Department of Justice, right, DOJ, and all of these other agencies, they need to have evidence to go after these guys. Yes, there may be some times where things go sour in the justice system. I get that. There are sour apples out there. However, just looking at things like this, the way that he acts, like, that's wild. The crazy part, once again, no one really talked about this from what I remember. And look at the date, April 14th, 2017. Now, thing is that Vegas Dave in the sports card hobby became very well known because he bought an autographed super refractor card for $400,000 in May 18th and later sold it on Golden Auctions for $3.9 million. Now, auction houses deal with people with shady backgrounds. There's really no there isn't a thorough background check because if you see some of these high end guys, you could be a former drug trafficker. They're not going to ask where you got the money. Who cares? Patriot Act doesn't matter. People may not like the Patriot Act, but look, there are certain rules and certain money would not be allowed in certain broker dealer firms out there, futures, options firms, FX companies. These companies in the sports card industry, you could get fraudsters and hustlers, and doesn't matter whatsoever. That's why I'm suspicious of some of these sales. I'm just looking at it and just like you could put your tinfoil hat on, okay? This was April 14th, 2017. It's a legitimate question to ask. Was Vegas Dave planted into the sports card hobby? This was a year after, this indictment. Was he told by certain agencies, the feds, hey, you did XYZ, now you're going to infiltrate the sports card hobby? I wouldn't be surprised. Certain shady people like cocaine dealers in the hobby, I wouldn't be surprised they're feds, right? Dealing with the high ups. This is a low trust hobby, right? It's easy to manipulate these dudes in the suburbs that are very naive, just to be blunt with all of you out here, okay? And he used to go in my comment section, right? And he used to call, I did a live with Cblaz. He called us, I forget what he said, like sheep or losers, whatever, clowns. He did that in another video of me saying that I'm the reason, once again, egomaniac. I am the reason what propped up the sports card hobby in 2020 with this sale. So Vegas Dave is saying that he shut down the economy through COVID. He's the one that printed millions and billions of dollars during COVID. He's the one that gave stimmy checks. He's the one that caused sporting events to be closed, which propped up the sports card market. He's that guy. That's what he basically said. That is utterly nuts. Yes, he did have this sale, but I'm suspicious. Once again, I am suspicious of low trust individuals, and it's okay to ask these questions. I work with low trust individuals, and I keep my distance far away as possible. I make sure that I don't work under them. I threaten to leave places where I see a manager or a boss that is low trust and doesn't surround his team with high trust individuals. That's how I move. Okay? Once again, nobody during this time frame talked about this, right? And now we have other individuals in the sports card hobby that, you could look at, this, right? You could look at Kevin O'Leary. What is he doing these days, right? Kevin O'Leary sports cards, right? You could, and, the biggest grift is the Logan Paul, Ken Golden PSA, I would say PSA 9 card. See, and the thing is, AI is going to tell you it's actually a PSA Mint 10, not a PSA 9. However, if you looked at other Pokemon individuals who actually followed this card, this was a PSA 9, submitted a PSA multiple times. Ken Golden did not tell you that. He could have done a live with Rattled Pokemon, or he could have acknowledged this card is reportedly was sent to PSA multiple times and was a PSA 9. No, he didn't do that. He's like, oh, PSA 10. Let's jump up and down. And now the sports card market has been manipulated because of low trust individuals like Logan Paul and Ken Golden, because they didn't represent this accurately. They could have just shared the provenance of it. It's be like, hey, look, it was most likely a PSA 9, but it's submitted multiple times. No one's going to do that because they are ego maniacs. Vegas Dave is an ego maniac. Whoever calls himself the GOAT is an egomaniac. And if you are the GOAT, why the hell did you buy Derek Carr cards worth $1 million? Okay. Now, once again, innocent until proven guilty regarding Vegas Dave. However, we've seen his past. We've seen the stories right now. Vegas Dave, Las Vegas, right? This doesn't look good. This doesn't look good. And if there's evidence that changes, that goes in the favor of Vegas Dave, I will talk about it. But they're threatening to lock him up. What's going on here? We're all the Vegas Dave fanboys. Quiet. And I wouldn't be surprised if this dude was planted into the sports card hobby. Anyways, let me know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you later. See ya. Bye.